Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the SIMP podcast. Simply, I make plays. Hey, we're here tonight with Coach Wells and Rique. I'm Kevin Owan, your host and moderator. Hopefully, today you can see me. This is our second episode. We had a little technical difficulty. You heard me, but you couldn't see me, man. But I'm here with the guys tonight, man. We're here to talk about a couple of things that's going on in the world of high school sports and college sports. We're going to talk about the UNLV Matthew Sluka situation that went down last week to get paid or not get paid. And he didn't play this week. He redshirted. Hey, he said, man, show me the money. So he's out. We'll talk about that. Actually, UNLV won that game. We'll also talk about question for the night. We have, do student athletes that are getting paid, are they should they be subject to criticism? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about high school player rankings and recent high school commitments. And then we'll have our spotlight player of the week. And we're going to talk a little Georgia and Alabama. Crazy game on this past Saturday night. Crazy game, man. Crazy game, man. But hey, let's meet the guys. Let's start with Coach Wells. Coach Wells, how are you tonight, sir? What's going on, man?
I am great, ready to get the show going. Got some good stuff to talk about tonight. But like you said, we're going to start with the Georgia-Alabama game. I can't wait to hear what my brother Rique got to say about it.
Rique, without further ado, brother Rique, what's happening, man? How are you?
Man, I'm cool in the game, man. I done finally got over this illness called losing to Alabama a game. But man, I'm good, man. Glad to be back on with you, brothers. Hopefully Will Sane can get in here soon. And
yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, we're gonna jump right into it, man. I'm gonna just read this from the AP from CBS Sports. On Saturday night, Georgia and Alabama, Jalen Milroe and Carson Beck put on quite a show, even with a different Crimson Tide coach prowling the sidelines. Ryan Williams scored a 75-yard TD pass from Milroe with 2:18 left, with number 4 Alabama beating number 2 Georgia 41-34 on Saturday night in a wild SEC debut for Tide's coach Kalen DeBoer. Then Alabama's other freshman sporting the number 2 jersey, defensive back Xavier Brown, intercepting Carson Beck's pass in the end zone to secure the victory. He said, "We pushed each other to the very end." Coach DeBoer said, "That's no surprise with two teams that have battled for SEC and even national supremacy almost annually. It was the Bulls' initiation into a captivating rivalry of SEC powers that added another memorable chapter, even without Coach Nick Saban on the sideline opposite protege Kirby Smart of Georgia. The post-game message from DeBoer wasn't all that different. He says this: "We expect to win these games." He said, "Of course, the locker room is full of excitement, but I also want to make sure they realize that the expectations, there's a lot of season left." The dynamic 17-year-old Williams turned back to grab Milroe's deep pass in tight coverage, did a quick spin, and sprinted down the right sideline. Milroe then hit Jeremy Bernard for a 2-point conversion for the Tide as they win. They're currently 4-0, and this is what Williams said. The 17-year-old, "I did a spin move, and it was like in slow motion." Williams said, "It looked faster on screen." I tell you this for myself, when I was watching in real time, like I said to the guys before we got on, it looked like almost like ballet. If you look like it was like a pirouette, and he did it, and he made 3 or 4 dudes jump into one another. It was almost poetry in motion, so to speak. But I'm not the Georgia fan. I'm not the Alabama fan. So I'm gonna pass it on to the Georgia fan because he got a lot to get off his chest. So Rique, take it away, bro.
Man.
He got to take deep breaths.
Because, I talk a lot. I don't know if y'all know me, but I talk a lot of ish. So coming up to this game, I'm getting them. I was like, nah, we're going to get this one because the talent, our talent level is this, but that one thing that they had over us wasn't going to be on the side. I say, so if we're going to get them, we're going to get them because that guy is not making that decision. Man, about 7:51 to kick off. By 8:15, they were scoring. I said, it's going to be a long night. I had told people, if you cannot allow Jalen to get off passing and running. Jalen Milroe had 374 yards passing. He was 27 for 33, 2 touchdowns and 1 INT. He carried the ball 16 times for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can't beat nobody that way. But the second half came, and they finally got off the bus.
Clearly.
And they started to show something. Then they went up. And the place it was in, the house went bananas. Georgia went up. But I kindly reminded everybody, Georgia hadn't made a play all night. And I'm a Georgia fan. Die hard. Born and raised in this thing. Georgia hadn't made a play all night. It was too much time left. I thought it would take the rest of the quarter at least. 14.2 seconds later, this kid, 17-year-old kid, who won't be 18 until February.
Talk about it.
He goes up, catch the ball on 2 men, did a silhouette, made them hit each other, and got away. He hit the R with the L2 and get somewhere, but just as high as they got, everything in the house got quiet. Then somebody said they got time, and I said once again, I tell y'all, we hadn't made a significant big play all night, and what happened? Carson Beck, $1 million boy, threw it right back to him like he had did. Let me go ahead and tell y'all how many. Like he had did 2 other times. The boy had 3 INTs, and I think all 3 of them looked like he was throwing it to them. You can't win like that. You cannot keep letting teams get up on you and think you can come back in the second half and do what you do, because you're gonna run into teams like a Alabama, like a Texas, like a Ole Miss, who don't give a damn that you are UGA, because they are who they are. And we found that out Saturday night. They didn't give a damn. And I'm almost convinced that Georgia can't beat Alabama. I don't care what we play. I'm almost convinced. But I'm gonna still have on my red, black, and white when we play them. But it's just something in my soul, because they mind F us so bad. It reminds me of the times when we used to play in Florida. They used to get us the same way. We could have better teams, and we would go down to Jacksonville and lose to Florida. It even happened back in early 2000s in South Carolina. We have the much better team. One year we went up there and got our doors blown off. It's all mental. And if Kirby can't get that thing figured out, because that's a coaching thing.
Yeah.
When you mentally can't get over it, somebody, Ghostbusters, all of them. Because, man, you cannot, like last year, we picked the worst time to have our worst game of the season. And when we lost to Alabama last year in the SEC championship, I thought we were the best team in college football on that day. But they showed me quickly that them boys got some on us. I'm done.
Well, I mean, if Kirby wants to know how to beat Bama, he might want to call Dabble, being that Dabble has done it quite a few times on the big stage when it matters. I'm not, despite the talent level,
yeah,
Dabble has done it. I mean,
you are correct.
So, I mean, I thought it was a great game. I thought it was amazing for college football. And that was back-to-back nights that we actually sat and watched college football being played to the wire. On Friday night, Virginia Tech and Miami.
Great game.
Yes, sir.
Them quarterbacks, them cousins, that Texas bloodline that they got within each other, Kyron Drones and Cam Ward, for both out of both teams, those two were the best players on the field, hands down.
Yeah. And man, and for me, Cam Ward, to have the problems that he had the first half, to be able to shake that thing off and come back and play the way he played the second half.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it.
Boy, I was like, yes.
Yeah, because he had some shakes and some hiccups in the first half, like how he said, and he pulled himself together. I was like, whoa. I said, Vartek the Hokies about to pull this thing off, man. I said they were playing good, and they was playing some really good defense too. You got to give it to them. I think they got to the quarterback a couple of times. I forgot how many times, hey, it was absolutely a great time how they got to it. But what do y'all think? Before I go to that, what do y'all think about the end of the play, end of the so-called catch? So I thought, from my vantage point, I thought it was a catch at first. And then when you kept looking at it, it wasn't a catch. He never had full control of it. And to me, it almost convoluted the play on the field, pretty much almost convoluted what the whole, because as you can see, they cut off the lights and all that stuff. And it was just a crazy, crazy scene.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? I'll start with Wells. What you got?
I actually watching it and I kept watching it. And to my understanding, if you catch the ball and you come down, if you got control of it, once you come down. Now, I know it was a player up under him. You really couldn't see what part of his body touched the ground, but if I'm not mistaken, I think one of his ankles touched. One of his chin or ankle was already on the turf when the ball was in his hand. But being that he was on top of another player and another player swiped the ball and he lost control of it after he caught it, I thought it was a touchdown.
For me, as I was watching, I never thought he had complete control once he hit the ground. See, like once he hit the ground, that thing was moving.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I initially said that's not a catch. Because, like I said, I just did not think that he, what they say, completed the catch.
Right.
I think that's and I just never thought he had complete control once he hit the ground, and so that's why I like I said initially I was like, that's not a catch, but I thought they was gonna overturn it. I thought they was gonna say he caught it. I was surprised that they said he didn't catch the ball.
Right, because I thought he landed on a player with the ball with control, but. Me personally, at that moment in the game, and you leave it up to the refs, in the NFL, they probably wouldn't overturn that. They wouldn't overturn that in the NFL. I don't think they would overturn it. But I know high school for sure they wouldn't overturn it based off there's no instant replay.
Well, as you remember, they took quite a while. Those don't know the replays in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they didn't take 2 seconds. They took about a huge 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, and they took the maximum amount of time.
Yeah, they trying to get this thing right. And my brother, we had on. If y'all don't know, as y'all can see in the background, I'm a podcast host of the Sports Chaser, and on our show last night, we actually talked about it. My brother knows a NCAA ref. The guy wanted to be anonymous, and he actually had texted my brother and said, "Hey, a call has to be made on the field first." Because I said, "Well, why can't you just not make a call. Just don't make it and just go replay. No, a call initially has to be made
Yeah.
first, and then they can deliberate about it as going to the film. So, and that's what they did pretty much. And I got it right. And like you said, Rique, the receiver, he didn't survive. He did not survive the ground with the ball. So, the whole thing with the catch and all this stuff, you got to survive the ground and make sure you have the ball secure in your hands. So,
but I mean, but to me, it goes back to what you taught in high school: knock the ball down.
Yes.
If you don't knock that, as a defender, if you don't knock that ball down, you leave it open for things like this to happen. Yeah. But he had perfect position though. How he got?
Yeah.
How he ended up with
people?
Yeah.
All in it was crazy.
Yeah, but they tell you to use basketball skills doing jump ball situations in football.
Yes, sir.
Get in front of the defenders and box them out.
Box them out. Amen.
And
that's why I'm a fan
to the highest point.
That's why I'm a fan of kids playing more than one sport. Because the other things that you learn from playing basketball and learn how to box out, amen. It was exemplified right there. He showed you how to box out and go up at the high and attack the ball at its highest point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was man. Hey, I was thoroughly impressed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was more impressed with the quarterbacks.
Oh man. Yes.
To get that pass off at the end of the game,
absolutely,
and put it only where to you feel like your receiver can catch it was absolutely beautiful. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think either one of them was ranked or a 4 or 5 star coming out of high school. I don't even think Cam was ranked, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, but the numbers that Cam put up at Washington State.
Yeah.
But we initially thought that was because you just playing out there.
Yeah.
But for him to go to MIA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that boy playing some good ball, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out who I think is the best quarterback in college football, him or Shador. Because
I take nothing away from Shador. Shador, if he had a better line, if he had a better offensive line, better pass protection, Shador probably would pass for 4,000 or 5,000 yards and run for another 1,000. That's just how talented the kid is.
Yeah. And to do it without the protection.
Without it.
I done seen that kid make a few throws like this.
Oh yeah.
In his face, hand and the passes be right where the receivers has not had to make an adjustment. Is right where it's supposed to be. That kid has put that work in, man.
Oh yeah, yes, he has. I mean, he's being trained by Tom Brady, so I mean, why not be trained by the best or one of the
man, if you want to be the best, that's what they say. If you want to be the best, you got to be in the room with the best.
Best, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. But these quarterbacks in college football today are actually quarterbacks are putting up some numbers this year.
Yes.
4 or 5 games. Quarterbacks are putting up numbers. I mean, you talk about Shador, you talk about Cam, you talk about Kyron, you talk about Milroe, Beck.
I mean, Beck ended up putting up over 400 yards. Yeah. He passed the ball 50 times.
Right.
But but those numbers and I mean, and you did. You really didn't see it.
Right.
I mean, I guess once we started to look at that thing, okay, but while the game was going on, you didn't see it.
No,
that.
And a lot of times you don't see it because in college football, I think the game has picked up a lot of speed. So with these quick hits and out routes and 3 to 5 yard routes that most of these receivers running and the quarterbacks are getting the ball out faster, they're trying to adapt more to the pro game as far as, because the NFL is a passing league.
Yeah.
Passing league. You know, so these college quarterbacks have to get themselves prepared to play at the pro speed. So you got offense coordinators are throwing in these splash plays right quick. These little quick routes, quick dumps. And if you watch some high schools, they doing the same thing.
Yeah,
with some of the quarterbacks, and top quarterbacks in the country. I mean, it's just if you want to play at the next level, then in high school and college, you have to play that way. You have to play if you want to perform at the highest level. So you have to watch these pro quarterbacks and situations.
Man, I don't know what I did. I don't know if you can see me.
We can see you, bro. You good.
Okay, because I done hit too many buttons and I can't see.
Probably your nerves from that Georgia game. Just calm down. Just calm down.
I can't see y'all. I don't know where y'all at. I got one of these new computers. They got a split screen and
look at you.
So I might have to go off right quick and come right back.
Do your thing, man. We're good.
Yeah, we good.
Okay.
I'm gonna
go away and I'm gonna come right back.
Yeah, we'll jump into the next subject when you come right back, and we'll just talk about some things. So I'm sorry, because my internet was wilding out there for a second. I had to jump off.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm back and I'm good, man. But you was talking about quarterback play. I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm back.
Oh, you back? Okay. Well, you never left, so you good? Okay.
Hold up. But I hear echo, so that means there's two. So I need to get rid of one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's two of you. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Good. I always wanted to.
Right.
Probably could have helped me out back in my younger day.
Yeah.
Man, listen, we're gonna segue to the next segment. The cream of the crop, so to speak, of the last week. Really, the story came out last Wednesday and Thursday. I'll read it here, and this is from the AP. And this is the Matthew Sluka UNLV situation, man. And this article is by Eric Olson. The link in the description will be in the YouTube description here. So let me just read this real quick. Well, it's a lot to discover, and we'll kick it around. One of the leading authorities on NIL and college athletics said Matthew Sluka's decision to end his season at UNLV after 3 games because of a disagreement over $100K could tempt other players to leave their teams during the season to pursue better opportunities if they don't have a beef with their current school. This is unprecedented, and a sign of the times, says Blake Lawrence, whose company Open Doors works with dozens of schools and more than 40 booster-backed collectors of name, image, and likeness compensation. Sluka, by playing in fewer than 5 games, preserves his final season of eligibility and can play elsewhere in 2025. Sluka's agent, Marcus Cromartie, told the AP that his client decided to sit out the rest of the season over a $100,000 NIL payment that was promised by an assistant coach after he agreed to transfer to the Rebels last winter. No written contract was ever put in place, Cromartie said, and efforts to set up a payment plan were unsuccessful. UNLV accused Sluka's representative of making implied threats and financial demands upon the university and its NIL collector in order to continue playing, which it's against NCAA rules and the state of Nevada. How did it become of this? The NCAA cleared the way for NIL compensation in July of 2021, forced by state laws that were about to make it illegal to bar college athletes from cashing in on their fame. The NCAA has stuck to its rules against schools paying athletes directly to play. Through that could change soon. For now, what's left are messy situations like this and the potential for more. Even if Sluka had signed a NIL contract, Lawrence said it would have prevented him from quitting because such contracts cannot be tied to playing performances. Michael Lowe, a Philadelphia attorney whose firm represents schools, conferences, and collectors in the NIL industry, says Sluka's situation will encourage athletes to take a hard look at their potential value if they were to change schools. And I'll read some more, but we're going to jump into this. Let me just give this. I'm the moderator, but I have an opinion too. This is all cap. The school, they promised this kid something. Why would he lie? They promised him something, and because at first I was on the side of the school, and then that's why it pays to read and do your own investigation and do your own reading. Don't let TikTok be your determination of your fact finding, right? Actually dig, read, because most of this stuff is public information. This kid never signed a contract. This was by word of mouth, gentleman's agreement. Hey, you come here. I don't care who talked to, the tight ends coach, the quarterback coach. Somebody promised that kid $100K. And he agreed upon that. And he's like, whoa, I'm balling out at UNLV with 3-0 at the time. Show me the money. Where's the rest of my cash? And then the head coach, he's like, he's checking his pockets. Hey, man, I didn't promise you none of that. And the kid was like, you know what? And he was his attorney he said, hey, man, you can redshirt. Don't play no more games. Save your eligibility for somebody that's going to pay you. And you'd be good. He's not right now. I don't think he's an NFL prospect. So that's why he took the route that he did.
Yeah.
And too bad, too sad, UNLV. Mm-hmm. We made an agreement with the kid. Because if this was the other way around, guess what they would have did? Just saying. Yeah. I'll pass it on to Rique, because Rique has some very strong opinions at this first. Like I said, I didn't agree with the kid at first. Then I did some fact finding and digging. Now I'm on the kid's side, man. Whatever, school. This is a family show, so I'll be nice. Go ahead, Rique.
When you hear a lot of people saying, why didn't they sue? Why didn't they sue? Why didn't they sue? You can't sue, because if you're suing, that means you're paid to play. That's illegal under the current NIL rules.
Right.
Correct.
So what happens is now he said versus he said.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now I tend to believe the kid because he was in JUCO, a lower level. He played big boy ball, put up the numbers, put up big boy numbers, and a lot of things. So he was balling. So now it's time for negotiation. Why would he pick UNLV? And I'm sure, and I was trying to find out, but I'm sure he had other offers to go elsewhere. Hey, we gonna give you. Hey, okay, well, let's do it, because like you say, he's probably not a pro prospect, right. So he got to capitalize on what he can get while he can get it. While his iron is hot, he got to strike.
1,000%.
So you promised me 100 stacks. You only give me 3. Hey, what my bread?
Yeah,
right.
And like you say, see what happened was, I didn't say, okay. Like you say, go back to my agent, holler at my agent. And the rule is, 5 games? You have 5 games that you can play. And
he played 3. He was like,
you don't like what we seeing, or you don't like what you're seeing, you can still redshirt.
Right.
Man, let me get on up out of here. But the craziness is, there was another kid, I think a running back.
His name is Richardson. Yes,
sir. That also left UNLV
for
the same exact reason, because he was promised something, and they reneged on their promise. And I think it just came out another kid that has left another school. You promised me something.
Listen, this is going to continue to happen.
Because Pandora's box is open.
Right. And this will continue to happen because there's no guardrails, there's no governors on this thing. It is the wild, wild west, and different states, different laws. As we all know, the NCAA ain't worth a darn. And They don't really have no
Never have
control
been.
over anything. Never have been. So that's why this thing is crazy. That's why the conferences is all jacked up, and and before it's all said and done, there's only going to be 2 super conferences. I mean, that's a whole nother talk for another day. But getting back to the kid, to Matthew Sluka, man, I don't blame him. You have to look out for yourself, and all those that there's been some very opinionated, football players, and I won't name them. I mean, excuse me, football coaches and former coaches are saying, "Yo, how could you quit on your team?" and all that. Stop with the cap. Stop, because if that was your son, that was your nephew, that was your little JoJo, little Daniel, whatever, and the school was taking advantage of your child like that, your kid, you wouldn't be singing that. You can't quit on your team and stuff like that. And in essence, he did. He's because now y'all have made this, all this under the table money, right? When it's kind of like Santa Claus ain't real, right? So shh, right? So now that it's all out in the open, right? We all got to act like adults and grown-ups. So this is what you get.
Hey, Wells, before you say something, my last point. This is not his team. He just transferred in. That's not his team.
Good point, Rique.
Those are not his brothers. Where he came from was his brothers and his team.
What school did he come from?
Got there for this.
Right. Holy Cross. That's where he came from. He played at Holy Cross.
Go ahead, Wells. I'm sorry.
No, Rique, let me just to piggyback on your point. That's right. That's not his brother. He just got there. So, hey, y'all created this hired, hitman for hire and all this stuff.
Right.
So I man, whatever. Wells, go ahead, man.
So which begs the question: who's in charge of NIL? Who's in charge? Because I look at it, if they never promised him anything, then why did a collective come back 2 days later and say, "I will give it to you"?
We'll give it to you.
We'll give it to you. That evidently he meant something to the team. Evidently he was performing at the level that they needed. They were undefeated. And true indeed, they won without him.
They did.
With another quarterback. But if you didn't promise him anything, why would one of your collectives turn around and offer him the money? Which when it comes to these colleges that, to switch up the words of the great Biggie Smalls, no money, more problems.
Right.
No money, more problems when it comes to college. Because I don't know if y'all paid attention, but Clemson just lost one of their top 5 recruits, defensive end, last week. And guess where he was at? He was at North Carolina James Madison game. While James Madison was running up the scoreboard on North Carolina, he decommitted from Clemson because North Carolina probably promised him something or offered him more than probably what he would have got if he signed with Clemson. So these colleges, when you meet with your collectives to decide what kid you want to go after, make sure that your ducks are in a row and make sure that you're not promising these kids something that you're not going to live up to. Because we already see what happened. The linebacker from Washington, Parham, he just entered the transfer portal for the same reason. They promised him something that they didn't live up to. So he bounced. So now you're going to have more kids doing this throughout colleges, every level, D1, D2, D3. It don't matter. You're going to have those same kids. You're going to have kids doing the same thing now. Well, I come in, hey, promise me a Lambo. I ain't get my Lambo. I'm driving a Nissan Sentra. I'm out. But this is what happens when you introduce money in college sports. That is, and there's no control. There's no control of it. So that's why you got who's in charge, who's running it. Is it the kids or is it these schools? And from the looks of the thing in the past week, it looked like these kids got the upper hand.
I heard someone mention that they're gonna mess around and have to get some GMs in college ball. Someone to sit back just to figure this money thing out, because as a coach, I didn't come here to negotiate monies. I came to coach kids and get kids to come to play ball.
Right.
So they gonna eventually have to get some money people in here, and like my boy Will Sane would say, when college football so much better when they was getting money up under the table.
Yeah.
Listen, Gene Wojciechowski, he is the general manager at St. Bonnie's in New York.
Yes. And I wondered, when I first saw that, I was like, why is they calling the general manager?
Yo, because the
coach, and they have ADs, and then the rest of this broke out.
Oh yeah. Changing of the guard. Remember for the longest we've been saying when it started, and we said that it's okay to do it, but somebody gotta have some control. Somebody gotta be in charge. Somebody gotta control it. If not, school's gonna run rampant. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's gonna run rampant.
Yeah.
Everybody.
The kids gonna run rampant because
yes, sir.
What do you got a kid on the sideline making more money than the coach?
Facts.
I remember Allen Iverson saying he would never coach NBA basketball because he's not willing to sit on the bench and coach grown men that make more money than him. They're not going to listen. They're not. Why am I listening to you? I make more money than you.
And you got kids like Shador who making what, 14 million this year?
14 million.
Money? Come on now.
Yeah.
He's making more than his dad.
Making more than his dad.
Come on now. You opening up some. And that's why I can't wait to get into this to the high school part of this NIL, so we can dive into it. That's why that's why I refuse to say anything about it here, because I don't know enough about it yet. But I got a couple cats that's hopefully within the next couple weeks that's going to join the show that's in it, because it's a wild, wild west in college football. So is the same thing finna happen to high school ball?
It's already happening.
Just a question.
It's
already happening. I mean, you just.
Well, before NIL, kids was already switching schools every other year, every year.
Yeah.
That was before NIL.
Right.
So what is happening? What is happening now? But like I say, I don't know enough about the high school version of it yet. Give me a minute.
Oh yeah. It ain't no different, but no.
I mean, like I said, before this was all out in the open, we all knew what was going down, but it was, don't ask, don't tell, right? Now that it's all out and open, and if y'all remember back a couple years ago when the NCAA prevented Northwestern football team from unionizing. Remember?
Unionizing, right. Yes, sir.
Unionizing. Yeah.
It was like, oh no, we can't do that. And now look what you got.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because now you're basically dealing with individual contracts, right? And people, so there's no collective bargaining agreement. These guys, there's nothing saying, you literally transfer in the middle of a season. Can you imagine that going on in the NFL? No, right?
No.
There's a certain time for free agent period in all the four major sports. There's a certain time for free agency period. There's a certain time to sign people, not to sign people, when to waive people, when they can be picked up off waiver wires. There's parameters put in, and it's all for order and organization. This NCAA stuff is crazy, And like I stated before reading this article, man, before you know it, there's going to be only 2 power conferences anyway, right? You got the Big Ten. You know, it just looked crazy to me seeing USC go to Michigan the other week.
Yeah.
And it's not the Rose Bowl they playing. They playing in a regular season game.
Stanford traveling to Clemson.
That is weird. It's weird as heck, man. So I don't know, man. I love college football. I didn't grow up in the great South watching college football. I actually grew up in New York. All those that are watching, you know, I only have.
Y'all have college football in New York?
Stony Brook.
Oh, sorry.
Rutgers look pretty good. Rutgers look pretty good.
But growing up, I actually rooted for Florida State because they was on time. That was the time around Dion. But back to the original point, man. You just wanted to get back to it being well, and with all this noise with it, it makes it so, I guess, disheartening to those that really just want to play the game. And you know, yeah, money has gotten involved into it, and there's a business aspect to it, man. But when did we sit down and be like, hey, can we just play the game? And I fault the adults in the room, right? Because they want
absolutely.
You know, they're the ones that's in charge, right? They let this thing get. I fault them, the powers that be, the NCAA, for letting this get to where it is. And now people are crying, oh my God, the kids, they got the kids got the power. Oh yeah, because for so long, the adults had the power and didn't do right by the kids.
Absolutely.
If you look about it, for those that love NCAA college football that just finally came out, like, you know, I'm not a gamer like that, but I love all playing the sports games on your PS5s or whatever. You know, that game, it took almost 14 years for it to come out. And if you remember, Ed O'Bannon, who used to play for UCLA, home of New Jersey. They played in Jersey at the time. He sued the NCAA because he's like, yo, I'm playing the
game. Image and likeness.
And I'm not getting no bread. And I'm up here playing the game. He said, nah, I'm going to fix this. And you see, EA Sports ain't come out with a game, I want to say, top of my head, 12, 14 years now, right?
Right.
And now all these guys is getting paid. Great for them. You should be paid for what you're worth.
Right.
I mean, college football, college sports.
Yes.
Well, it's really college because even in the Olympics, they get paid.
Right.
Correct.
As an amateur, they get paid. So why
that word.
Boy.
The word.
Why would you not? These kids, these football players, these football teams generate billions of dollars at some of these schools.
Right.
And you think that room and board and classes for 1 year, because you're playing on a year-to-year scholarship.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people don't understand that.
They don't know.
They don't have to bring you back the next year.
I don't.
So you're playing a year to year, but I have made your university billions of dollars.
Right.
I can look right down the street on Saturdays in Athens. It's bananas. And it starts on Friday night. Them traveling to get here.
Yeah.
Some on Thursday. But before they closed it off, you used to can go down Sanford Stadium, down the street, and just look over in there. It's, oh my goodness. And now they done built it up so it's that many more people in there.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention all of us that's watching, all of us that's buying merch. You knew what the number 3 meant even before the number 3 had a name on it. You knew why you bought that number 3.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pay these kids, man. To me, it was a damn shame a kid can go out here and bust his ass from 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening, and he can't even get a meal because he's hungry. You got a 315, 20, 30-pound man, and the dining hall closed at and he up studying, he hungry.
Oh yeah.
Or in the off season, I can't take my little girlfriend out to go watch a movie. But you steady collecting.
Oh yeah.
This is why this is happening.
Oh yeah.
100%.
The chickens have came back home to root. Ain't that how it goes?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Malcolm said it. But yeah, you. So this thing, but they have to get someone to come in here and get this thing together, because these coaches can't do it.
Nah,
they would not. These coaches were not built for this.
Let me follow up with this question. Do you think that's why some of like the great ones like Nick Saban and Coach Mike Krzyzewski with the Duke Blue Devils, why they said see you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Nick knew what was coming. Nick knew this was coming.
Oh yeah, and you know, Nick he was always against it, even when they first brought it up. But I go back.
He stole my receiver. He went against it when he stole my receiver.
Yeah, but the thing, but see, at the time, and if you want to say under the table, it was controlled.
Yeah,
it was controlled under the table. It was controlled under the table. Now it's not controlled.
Yes, sir.
Because you got all these schools got collectives that, you know, hey, get a kid 140,000 or 140 grand. You know what I'm saying, or 2-3 mil. Okay, like Saban, ain't no kid coming there making more money than him. What? Saban, old school teaching, old school philosophy. The way he do things was gonna get pushed to the side. Nobody was gonna. His voice. He wasn't gonna have that voice no more when it came to what a kid gets when they come to play for him.
Mm-hmm. Who are the collectives?
The big businesses, the alumni, the you know,
the same people that were paying the kids before.
I was getting ready to say, just to jump in here, I would say, all right, why are we using this word collectives? Why, we know what this is. I started hearing that word like this year. I was like,
yeah,
yes.
If you live in Alabama, collectives is the Piggly Wiggly that loves the tight end.
Right.
They funneling money to that.
Right.
Stop it. I was like, why are we trying to change the words and all this? We know what the collectives are. The alumni, the people, the boosters, those people. The get money people.
The same guys that dropped off the paper bag.
This is the legal way of saying blue chips.
Right.
This the legal way of saying blue chips. You
okay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm just
the legal way of saying blue chips. You know what I'm saying? Nobody gonna drop a bag of money off at your house. They don't have to do that no more. They don't have to park a tractor in your yard or a car or a boat. Oh no, you walk on campus and you get that now. Get that. Or you walk into a dealership and you go get that.
Yes, sir.
It ain't under the table no more. It's in the open. They done made that what it is, and I expect to see more kids taking advantage of the situation.
Absolutely, because this was week 4, right?
Yeah, this is
week 5. We're going into week 5.
Week 5, correct. Yeah, because he quit he won his 3rd game, and last week was week 4. They're getting ready to go to week 5. Yeah, correct.
So
week six for college, week 5 for the NFL.
Okay, so are we counting that 0 week thing?
That's how I kind of keep up with it. Yes. So I say week 6 because week 6 for the college, week 5 for the NFL. So
So when is the last before you can redshirt? Is this past Saturday or is it next Saturday?
This past week was the last. You can play 5 games, right?
Because most teams don't play week 0. That's why I'm asking.
Right. but they still consider it weak.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Still consider
Okay.
weak.
Okay. Because I'm finna say if they got another week, I'm finna definitely be watching to see what happened. But if last week was the it, so roster should be set.
Let me read this, and this is from USA Today. I just found this article. I get the credit here for it. It says college football redshirt rule for 2024-2025. According to the NCAA, any completion, regardless of time during a season in an intercollegiate sport, shall be counted as a season of competition in that sport. However, it does not provide exceptions for various sports, including Division I football players. Here's the NCAA's redshirt rule for college football players. It says 12.8.3.1.6 for all those that want to get down to the nuts. And this is the exception. In football, a student athlete representing a Division I institution may compete in up to 4 contests in a season, games, without using a season of competition. Until 2018, college football players were prohibited from participating in contests to maintain redshirt status. The Division I Council amended the rule to allow players to appear as many as 4 games before they lost that ability to redshirt. In August, the NCAA announced a blanket rule, and this rule, blah, 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 that will exempt postseason games from counting toward a player's 4 allotted games in a given season. The new rule went into effect immediately for the 2024 college football season. The link will be in the description. It's an article from USA Today. So that's the rule.
Okay, so that explains why he left in week 3 because of the 0 week, and that's the 4th week. Okay.
Right.
Well, it said 4 games. So whatever 4 games he participated, he only did 3. So yeah, he was good. So they was 3-0.
Which means you can play any 4 games during that season and still redshirt.
Okay. So it's
This is such. Go ahead.
But money was on the table, so he took his opportunity to leave early because he didn't get what he was promised.
I didn't get my bread.
Right.
I didn't get my bread. Yes, sir.
Not mad. Not mad.
Okay. Listen, we're probably gonna have to revisit this because I really got to get my main man. I call him my hero. Will Sane on here to get his opinion, and he couldn't be with us tonight. So, but we'll absolutely revisit this topic because this is such an intriguing topic, and for our viewers and our listeners, man. Like I said, at first when I heard this story, I was like, man, yo, this kid's got to play. And then when I kept hearing all the fugaziness, the craziness, I was like, oh no, I would have did the same. And everybody that's out there talking about, like you said, oh, he's got to be there for his brothers. Get out of here. Whatever, man. Like I said, y'all made it. Y'all created the adults in the room have created this nonsense. This is what you got. So, with that said, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rique. You have one thing before we move on.
No. Because, like I say, once I heard when the story first broke, you're like, oh, okay. But then when the second kid left, and then that third kid, I was like, oh, okay, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem.
Promises.
Yes, sir.
Promises.
Yes, sir. We can't keep.
We sing on this show, as you see.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, let us move on to our next topic. We're going to talk about college and high school players being criticized. I was trying to pull up the article here. I'll find it here in a little bit. Recently in the media, Coach Prime, y'all know him as Coach Deion Sanders, man. He took he took some taken to of hey, they're just kids. They shouldn't be criticized. I'll find the article here for a little bit because I love to read stuff verbatim to give you some context to it. But he pretty much wasn't happy when he was talking about criticizing college athletes and high school athletes. Now, our question to all of us, we'll go, is college players, is it fair game that we talk about, criticize them, of course, we like to do it here respectfully. We never say on this show that, hey, this guy sucks and stuff like that. Nope. Because, it takes something special to be an athlete. And we're all athletes on here, played at different levels, coached at different levels. So, I would never say a person sucks, but I can talk about your play. I can talk about that, hey, if you look at Antonio Pierce the other week, he said, hey, some people out there, if you don't know, Antonio Pierce is the Las Vegas Raiders head coach now, former New York Giant. Shout out to Antonio Pierce. As y'all can see, I'm a Giant fan. He said, hey, some guys out here, some guys doing their game, I forgot who they was playing. They made some business decisions. And he said, we're going to have to make some business decisions too.
Right.
So with that said, now the college players and high school players, is it fair game for them to be criticized now that they're getting money? I'll start off with Rique. Go ahead, Rique.
At one time in my life, my answer would have been, don't talk about high school kids. Don't, because they're kids. Once you get to college, you're starting to mature, and we knew money was involved then. But now, money is involved at the high school level, the college level, and anytime when folks start spending their money, they almost feel they can tell you what to do and how to do it. So is it always fair? No, it's not always fair. But when you accept this money, what comes with it. And it is hard to tell somebody that has given you X amount of dollars, or X fan who knows, because they can look all this stuff up. They can investigate what you're getting paid. It's hard to tell them they can't say, and you're making X times what they can even fathom. So, like I said, one time I said you can't, and I still don't think it's fair to criticize high school kids. But once you enter that grown man world of accepting money, and I'm not saying we're going to do it here, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Good opening. Go ahead, Wells. What you got? Oh, before you go, Wells, I found an article that I want. I found it before you go. Let me just read it. This is from Yahoo Sports. The link will be in the description. And this is from September 8th. This is from our Pro Football Talk. My main man over there, Pro Football Talk. Phil Sims' son. What's his name? Chris Sims. And,
Chris Sims.
And what's the other guy? I can't think of his name, but I'll find it for you. So it says this: Hall of Famer and Colorado coach Deion Sanders has spent plenty of time recently challenging and freezing out reporters who dared to criticize him. Now Deion is focusing on media members who criticize players. The landscape has changed in football, Sanders said Tuesday at a press conference. Once upon a time, you guys never attacked college players. Now they're taking money, and then y'all and some of y'all are envious and jealous about that. So you're on an attack. It was hands off a college player because he's an amateur. Remember that, guys? Now it's hands on. Go get him, go at him any kind of way you want. They making more money than me, and I'm mad about it. When you attack them, these guys are sensitive. They never been attacked. They haven't gone through what a grown man, what I've been through, going through for all these years. They haven't done that. So it is what it is. I know you're going to do your job and what you must do, but your job does not say attack. Because if we flip the script on y'all wouldn't like it. And then the article goes on and says, it's too easy to attribute and dismiss any form of criticism to jealousy. Besides, Sanders made the point that players are getting paid. Some will argue that the long overdue receipt of real compensation makes them professional players, justifying criticism that players are rare, but not, if you recall, Mike Gundy's I'm I'm a 40 rant unprecedented. He says, also, these kids are in many respects public figures, especially those who receive significant compensation to appear in national commercials. And they're all adults past the age of 18, old enough to join the military, grown man, not fully grown, but definitely not children. And it just goes on to say more reporters who go too far are subject to accountability that previously didn't exist. Entire media outlets are dedicated to covering sports media. If a reporter makes it too personal or says something unfair, inaccurate, or just plain dumb, some other reporters who covers reporters will report it. Let me just say this on this. I'll get to my other feelings about this. I think it should be fair. If you got a microphone, you're part of the media now. We're part of the media now, whether we like it or not. This is a podcast, and this is media. How we consume it, people consume this on YouTube, Facebook, whatever. On the podcasting side, they listen to it in their car. We're part of the media, and I think as a part of the media, my personal belief is you have to be responsible, you have to be respectful, and you have to be factual. And what that says, hey, if all of those lead to, you as a professional, right? You're a college professional, you're getting money. And I said, hey, you didn't play a good enough game. You was 7 for 25. You threw 5 interceptions and you fumbled twice. Hey man, you was not on your game today, man. You didn't play well. Hey, what is those things that happened that you didn't play well? I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You're respectful, you're actual, you're factual, you did your research. What's wrong with that? So I think it's a twofold sword, so to speak. But I don't agree with Deion when he's talking about the kids making money, man. I don't think that's the case. I just think that the reporters are just doing them just. And it's who it is. Let's be real. Some of these reporters, they don't like Deion Sanders. They never liked Deion Sanders.
Right.
And because he's a polarizing figure. He's been a polarizing figure ever since he started at Florida State. And on when he played, and you don't know, look Deion Sanders up. When he played Major League Baseball and he played football for the Falcons, people didn't like. If you go back in history, if you read his 30 for 30, they didn't like him when he was playing 2 sports and a lot of the baseball dudes, because baseball is a I would say rigid, and I love baseball. Baseball is my first love. Baseball is a real rigid sport, so to speak. It's not as flashy as basketball and football. They ain't like that. So Deion is a polarizing figure. So right off the gate, they don't like them. And sometimes, but on the other side, on the flip side, you got fanboys of Deion who are not objective either. So you got to find a balance. But with that said, I think my humble opinion, hey, if you are, these college players are getting a check now, you should be able to criticize it. You should be able to say something about their play. Not their play, nothing personal, right. Their play. And I think sometimes the media guys, they might just tap into the personal thing. Go ahead, Wells.
I'm gonna say this, with high school and college, especially with the NIL, more money, more profits. Before they was even getting money, you had kids and college players getting criticized like the pro players. Sometimes it be your own teammates on the field. Hey, you playing trash tonight. You suck. You know what I'm saying? You heard it from your teammates. Now, one thing we would never do on the show, we would never do. I would never trash talk a kid. Never talk trash.
I think though there's a difference between your teammates.
But
we're playing. Hey man, hey bro, you sucked. What's
right?
Yes.
But constructive criticism is what people fail to receive nowadays. If you're not playing your best, if I go to a game and my son is playing and my son got $14 million deal or whatever it is, he got a NIL deal. And he's out there playing his worst football ever. If I hear Bobby in the back of me in the stand saying, you're throwing interceptions, you're off today, what's wrong with you? What am I to say? Because he's not an amateur anymore. You're getting paid like a professional. You're getting paid to perform your best at what you do. That's the only reason people pay you. That's the only reason these contracts of these players in the NFL are so, because they're based off what you have done. Your contracts are based off what you have done. Your money you get are based off what you have done. You're not an amateur no more. Go ahead.
Question. An Olympian is still an amateur.
Says who?
They call it. They steady call it amateurs sporting events.
Right. Amateur.
The Olympics. But we know they're getting paid.
They're getting paid, right? But they consider, if you're the best in gymnastics, you're a professional, right? Dominique Dawes is not a professional.
She wasn't when she was performing in the Olympics. Because
that's the Olympics, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
In their respective sports, they are professionals, right?
Yes.
If you're the best at what you do, you're a professional. This ain't beginner's level. This ain't intermediate. This is not a video game. Not a video game. This is not beginner, intermediate, nothing like the amateur. Amateur, you can play amateur speed on Madden and beat everybody by 20 touchdowns. Not an amateur. You are considered. When I see these Shador is not an amateur. Travis Hunter is not an amateur. Travis Hunter, best player in college football. He should be making more. I think he should be the highest paid player in college football because of what he do. So when he have a bad game, is it okay to criticize his play on the field? Yes. And that's just something parents just for Dion to say these kids don't have thick skin. Well, they better get it quick. Because once you get to the pros, you're going to get it. You're going to hear it. You're going to catch it.
So can I interject? So I'll say high school. Now, I'm not as well versed with the high school swing as you guys are. I think even with high school, you should just kind of chill out for it. College, absolutely. You guys is getting paid.
Right.
Like I said, I'm from the. I would never say, hey, dude up here, he sucks. I would never say that because I know how much it takes to get to that level.
Right.
And guys have bad games.
Right.
Things happen. Look at last night. I know we don't talk pro sports. Well, we do. We dabble. Look at Huntley last night. He wasn't good last night. He was awful, actually. You know what I'm saying? But there was a whole lot of things that come. They basically just called him off the street to play quarterback for the Dolphins. But you're gonna have bad games. I think high school. I mean, like I said, I think they should be still off limits, so to speak. I think there should be a level of grace for them. But college, definitely, you getting name, image, and likeness. You getting money. You know, like I said, Shador's on your KFC. You know, for those that eat KFC. You know, he's on KFC commercial.
Yeah. But you have to perform them. Yeah. You're getting paid to perform.
Yeah.
So you can't. So when you get paid to perform, you get paid to put in that extra work. That's what they're paying you for. You're getting paid to better your craft, to perfect your craft. So what? A college kid making what? And he go out there and he dropping passes consistently, or he's out there and he's, fumbling the ball. I mean, why can't you criticize?
Go ahead. Well, Rique, you go ahead for your rebut.
This thick skin thing, social media. Most of these kids was born and raised in the world of social media. All of them have, only old folks still have Facebook, but most of these kids are TikToking, tweeting, and whatever other medium that they own. And if they're playing sports, and if the world that's their world know that they're part of these sports, they're getting criticized.
Right.
Because there are some very irrational people that follows little league sports, high school sports. And when I start saying irrational, I'm talking about especially these people that are gambling on these sports.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
And when you introduce money that way, that brings out a whole different emotional animal. Some of these kids are being called ungodly things if they fumble the ball, or if they cause their little league team not to win. And I done bet $300 and $400. And the high school, man, this thing. So
people are cruel. A
lot of the things that they're saying in publicized media is lightweight to where some of these kids have been said about on these personal social media accounts and platforms. Right. So it's out there.
Right. But
it's out there. I have been to a 7-year-old football game, and I know I've seen $300 and $400 pass hands.
Absolutely.
Once you know money is on, it's some god awful things are being said to these, not only to the coaches, but to these kids themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fights break out between the adults.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The coaches and the adults, coaches and parents, because you say something to the coach for whatever reason why your kid's not in the game or whatever play he called or whatever, it happens, right?
If you can't handle what is said from a paid professional, either you have not encountered social media, or you are a very different person, and that life really is not for you.
Right.
Because I'm in Athens, and it's a lower level of youth sports. But I've been in Atlanta where it's a higher level. And boy, things on both of these levels get real nasty.
Oh.
Real nasty.
Rique, you ain't telling the truth. I've seen it from a different aspect. I'll talk about that at a later time, but especially with Pee Wee football, I'm down in South Florida now.
Yes. Oh boy. Yes, sir.
It's crazy down here, and even when I was in Charlotte, and it was crazy there, but definitely down here in South Florida.
Well, see, South Florida where they have all the nationals.
1,000%. Yes.
That's where all the like I say, I got my homeboy who y'all gonna meet him, but he coached some little league teams that was playing on these national levels. And like I say, I've never coached at that level, but I used to watch him.
Right.
Boy, that thing get crazy.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. And me myself, I've almost got to fight with parents because it ain't but so much one can take.
Yeah, that's true.
And your human side come out.
Yeah.
So and this was before social media got to where it is now. I don't care enough to follow social media when I'm coaching. So whatever is said about, I just refuse to tap into that because I know it's not a good world.
Right. You gotta hear and don't hear.
Yes, sir.
You gotta hear and don't hear. But,
man, this is just like I said, this is just kind of some people are very emotional about it. Like I said, Coach Prime, he didn't like it, but hey, man, like it or not, man, especially on the college side, man. Nah, man, they gotta get some like I'm with Coach Wells, man. They gotta get some thick skin, and again, I'll reiterate, long as it's warranted, it's respectful,
yeah.
and I think nowadays, I mean, I might sound like the old guy, get off my lawn guy, man. I think, but think some guys are sometimes too sensitive in all the professional sport, even professional.
Absolutely.
You say,
absolutely. You can't tell a kid he done had a bad game.
Please,
come on now. That's my job.
You see how played football. You see how Tom Brady went off on Baker Mayfield the other day when and I don't know why Baker Mayfield kind of why he even had to even say that because Tom Brady said, "Yo, I'm here to win championship. I'm not here. You want to have fun? Go to Disneyland."
Right.
That's what he basically said. But that's just another whole, like I said, I don't want to sound like the old man get off my lawn type of deal, man. But yeah, you're gonna have to, everybody's not gonna like you.
Oh,
you know what? Everybody's not gonna like this podcast. They're gonna be putting comments out there. I'm like, whatever. You can have an opinion, and that's fine. It's cool. It's how you deal with it. And you're gonna have everybody, and I just think in this society, and like I said, there's so many avenues you can go down with this. Everybody's not gonna like you and celebrate you. You're gonna have some people, unfortunately, that's gonna not like you, or they don't like you how you look, or how you woke up, or whatever the case may be, and that's fine. And Wells, you had something to say before we move on to the player rankings and recent high school commitments.
Yeah, I pretty much just coming up when we played. You played your crosstown rival. They gonna talk trash. Parents, fans, they understand they gonna talk trash. The way that I saw things, you talk trash to me. You on the other team, I'm trying to send somebody home in an ambulance. That's just how I play the game. I ain't about to go back and forth with you. Don't please, yeah. Let him catch a pass or come around the end. I'm trying to take his head off. That's just how I played it. I ain't had to talk. I ain't say nothing. That kills a lot of trash talk.
Absolutely. We will revisit this topic because, like I said, Will is not with us tonight. We'll get back with this topic probably in the next episode. Let's move on to player rankings and recent high school commitments. Coach Wells, what you got?
Rique has football.
Oh, let me.
I got basketball.
I do, but I got to remember where all these screens. I told you, man.
All right, don't worry about it. Let me jump to the basketball real quick. All right, so we talked about top players in the country for basketball, which basketball season is about to start, just in case anybody knows, especially for high school and college, because they get ready to start. But we talking about the top. I'm gonna just go through the top 10 players in the country for the class of 2024. All right, and number one, you got AJ DeBaster, top player in the country in all in all the top programs or ranking sites. He's number one overall. Then you got Cameron Boozer at number 2. Still undecided. Don't know which college he's going to attend yet. I think it's between, don't quote me, Florida and Miami. AJ It's probably between BYU and North Carolina. Dan Patterson from Prolific High School, Prolific Prep in Canton, Ohio. One of the top high school programs. He is undecided. He's ranked number 3 in the country. You got Nate Emmett, who was ranked number 4. All these are 5-star players now, high school basketball. Caleb Wilson out of Holy Innocent in Atlanta, and he's ranked number 5. Cole Pete from Perry High School, Gilbert, Arizona. He's ranked number 6. Chris Sinek from Lake Academy in New Orleans. He's ranked number 7. Malik Thomas, number 8. Overtime Elite from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's ranked number 8. Darius Acuff. Kid is nice. Saw him play in person. IMG Academy. He's committed to Arkansas. I'm trying to bring them days back of Nolan Richardson. 10,
was that 94 feet of hell?
Okay, 94 feet. We
Yes,
got
sir.
Isaiah Harwell from Indiana, hard commit Houston. Michael Brown, number 11. I say I know him go 10, but these are all the 5 stars after all the 5-star basketball players. Michael Brown, number 11. Braden Burris, number 12, from Riverside, California. You got Jalen Harrison, number 13, from Anderson, Indiana. Jasper Johnson, kid, played overtime elite. Saw him over the summer. He's just as good as advertised. Just committed to Kentucky. Tune Youssef from California. Shelton Henderson, Darius Adams, number 17. Dwayne Aristotle, number 18. Kingston Fleming from Texas, number 19. And round out the top 20, Caden Boozer from Christopher Columbus in Florida, twin brother of Cam.
All right, I got the top kids in football. This is coming from 24/7 Sports. Number 1, we got Bryce Underwood. He's committed to LSU. I got Taven St. Clair. He's going to Ohio State. David Sanders Jr. He's going to Tennessee. I got Devin Sanchez, another commit to Ohio State. I got the Corian Moore. He's headed to Oregon. Naeem Alford, another one going to Ohio State. Jonah Williams, headed to Texas. Elijah Griffin, out of Savannah Christian Prep, one of your kids, headed to the University of Georgia. DK Pickett, headed to LSU. Keelan Russell, headed to Alabama. We got Zayden Walker, also headed to the fine University of Georgia. Khalid Lockett, also headed to Texas. We got Justice Terry, headed to the finest of universities of Georgia. We have Josh Petty, Georgia Tech. And Andrew Babaloa.
Yeah.
He hadn't signed yet. But he has interest, plenty interest.
He got a lot. See him at Tennessee.
Michigan, Stanford, Auburn, OU are a few of the people that's looking at him and want him. Los, boy, I could have said it if I hadn't been trying to read it. Number 16, he's headed to Iowa. And number 17, out of Warner Robinson, Georgia, Isaiah Gibson, headed to the finest of universities of Georgia. We got Ty Haywood, headed to Alabama. Jared Smith, heading to Auburn. And to round out the top 20, we got Michael Terry III, headed to Texas. So
sound like Ohio State, Texas, and Georgia dominated the top 20, didn't it?
Hey, man. But that's what you expect, because pretty much every year in the top 5, you have in Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia flip-flopping. And look like Texas is on its way back to where they supposed to be. Texas, I've always felt I've tried to figure out how they lost their advantage.
That coaching change between Matt Brown and
who came after him? Yeah,
Charlie Strong, I think.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
That Charlie Strong is a good coach. I just think that turnover ratio when it comes to losing a head coach, it affected a lot. And
Oh yeah.
It happens, but it's a lot of talented kids out there, man. It's a lot of talent out there. You know.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Well, we'll move on to the last part of the show. No, I'm sorry. What did we get here? We had high school commitments. Y'all see you scroll on we kind of fancy down here. We got the top high school teams in the country scrolling down at the ticker. You can check it out yourself. While you checking out, go ahead, Rose.
Texas, Florida, and Georgia leading the way with all these top programs in high school in the country. You know, so
don't sleep on Cali now.
No, not sleeping on Cali at all. You know, they got some premier programs out there, but
yes.
You know,
if you look at this high school, if you look at the top 25 high schools in the country, what's the first couple? Texas,
Georgia, Florida.
So, boy, I think I done did it again. Lord have mercy.
While Rique tries to fix his did it again.
Hey man, I'm just gonna keep it right here because I don't know what I did.
No, you
good. You good.
My brother.
Okay, if y'all can see me, we gonna just do it like this.
We can see. Well, who's our SIM spotlight player of the week? Who you got?
All right, so it's been went to a game. Break it down to you. Went to a game 2 weeks ago. You know, we had a little break, but this SIM spotlight is going to be a little different because this high school game that I watched 2 Fridays ago between Calvary Day High School and Jenkins High School in Savannah, Georgia, was probably one of the best high school games I've seen in a long time. And when I tell you, you know that saying, big time players show up to play in big games?
Yes, sir.
Between these two teams, it was a bunch of a handful of on both sides of the ball that showed up to play. I just want to give these guys their flowers because they put on a magnificent show the other night, that Friday night. And man, the final score ended up being 34-31 in overtime. And Jenkins was actually down by a touchdown and went 98 yards running the ball.
Wow.
Running the ball. No passes. All runs. Sweep right, sweep left, and then the quarterback scored on a bootleg after they done set. It was beautiful. Beautiful. So let me get into some of these top players from that game. When it comes to Calvary Day, their senior tight end Samuel Anderson. Just listen to these stats. 4 catches, 126 yards. Thomas Blackshear, Georgia commit, wide receiver, 7 catches, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And then they had Elwood Coleman, another wide receiver, committed to Alabama. He had 2 catches, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Jenkins, the name, the kid again, Rique Collins. Both sides of the ball. He was intricate in the way that they drove down the field, scored the game-time touchdown. And Brandon Baxter, both sides of the ball. I watched these 2 guys play probably some of the best defensive football from 2 linebackers that I've ever seen. And they both are seniors. And Jenkins has wide receiver, slot quarterback. He's a slash. His name is Dominique Johnson. And he was intricate in help keeping the games close, whether it was breaking up passes, making tackles on the defensive side, running back kickoffs or punts, or, just playing quarterback, running the option. Awesome game from these kids. Demetrius Holloway Jr., QB from Jenkins, 3.2 GPA, junior, 12 for 20, 179, 1 touchdown, 41 yards rushing, and another touchdown. Quarterback from Calvary, James Mobley. Might be short in stature, but the kid got a heart like a grizzly bear, I'm telling you. He's got a 3.7 GPA, sophomore. He's a sophomore. 12 of 18, 315 yards, 4 touchdowns, 29 rushing yards. On the season, he's 61 of 81, 1,160 yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 75% completion percentage from a sophomore.
Wow.
Then you got who probably was in a tie for my S.I.M.P Spotlight Player of the Week, but he came close. And just like James Mobley, Trenton Rhodes, wide receiver, kick returner, and running back for Jenkins High School. 2.8 GPA. He's a senior. 6 catches, 118 yards, and 1 touchdown. 3 kickoff returns, 169 yards. Not to mention, he played defense, had some good pass deflections, playing corner and safety. Came up, make some big tackles. Kid played his heart out all night. But in that game, if you was a college coach and you missed that game, you probably need to go back and YouTube on the Warrior Sports Network and watch that game, because when I tell you it was talent all over the field, both quarterback positions, the wide receivers showed up to play. Those kids balled out, man. That was a great game, and I probably will watch it again. If they was to play right now, I'll probably leave and go to the game just to watch them guys. But Monday night, New Hampstead High School played Perry High School, defending state champs in their region last year. And the quarterback from New Hampstead, Sean Truell, 3.8 GPA against Perry High School, the defending state champs. He was 38 of 68, 635 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, with a 98.6 QBR rating. On the season, he's 104 for 184, 1,662 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, with 106 QBR. And this is 5 games. And that's the S.I.M.P Spotlight Player of the Week with Sean Truell.
Wow.
Numbers. These kids are putting up numbers. You had to be at that Calvary versus Jenkins game, man. I was broadcasting on the Warrior Sports Network, and for a brief moment, I felt like I was on the field because I stopped recording. I stood up with the crowd, and I was into the game, and I was watching it. I forgot all about broadcasting. I was talking, and I had my headset, everything on, but that game, when you say, like I say again, when somebody say big time players step up to play in big time games, every last kid on that field left it on the field. Great coaching by both coaching staffs. They wanted it. They all wanted it, and it came down over time. Only one person can win.
Love the game.
Those are the type games you hate to see somebody lose.
Hate to see.
Right.
Yeah. And a quick correction, right quick. With the top ranked schools in the nation.
What you got?
The first two are from Cali.
Cali.
I know you meant to say Cali, but you said Texas.
Texas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, look at that right there. Boom, California.
St. John.
Hey, and that's the thing. In the top 10, they got 3 schools out of Cali, 2 schools from Georgia, 2 from Texas, and 2 from Florida, and 1 is number 5, Bishop Grumman out of Las Vegas.
What if they was to do that top 25 like they do college football and just have a playoff?
Yeah. Oh man, that a lot of old heads will be mad and disappointed, but you will see some great football.
I would love it.
Yeah,
I think
you will see some great football.
I think absolutely see some great football, and that's what we do on the show. We correct each other. So thank you, Rique. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not the high school football guy, so. But
hey, man,
I'm learning. I'm learning.
I got your back, man. Hey, man.
That's why we do this. We brothers, man. We got our back, man. But
yes,
as you can see, I'm just the graphics guy. I got the graphics right on here, making it look all pretty.
Yeah. But absolutely. But I know somebody. Hey, I know someone was going to criticize you as soon as they heard you say it. So I just wanted to, I got my guys back.
Thank you, brother Rique. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm not versed on high school football or high school basketball, man. I play high school football, but these guys, they're it when it comes to high school football and high school basketball, man. Hey, tremendous show tonight. We dived into a lot of stuff. We missed our brother Will tonight, man.
Yes, sir.
We missed him, man, and hopefully on the next episode we'll all be together. But hey, before we get out of here, let's get our final thoughts. What you got for us, brother Rique?
Hey man, another great episode. Parents, please help your kids make wise decisions.
Yes.
Look into get someone to help you if you don't understand what's going on. Don't let your kid or yourself become blind when somebody's talking fast. If you don't understand, tell them to slow down. Help your kid make the best decision for him and his future or her future. Because this thing is only going to get that much more crazier, but we're going to be right here to tell you what's going on. And Will Sane, I love you, boy. Miss you. And get on back on over here so we can do what we do.
No doubt. Coach, what you got?
Just want the kids to, like I said, I go back to watching that game the other night, Friday, where I saw Cam Ward and playing against his cousin and Karen. Those guys just work hard. Everybody's not going to take the same route. Everybody's not going to go D1 off jump. Everybody's not, you can make it. It's just the work that you put in. You just got to put in that extra work. Cam wasn't a 3 or 4 star, 5 star, 3. He wasn't none of that. He just worked, and that's what we're doing on the show. Some of this hidden talent in these areas, like Athens, like Savannah, like certain cities in South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. You know, we know y'all out there. We know y'all out there. We just want to help shine the light on y'all and bring some attention to y'all to help y'all achieve your dreams. And one thing I tell you, like Rique said, you have to be educated on what's going on now because everything has changed. Your parents have to be educated because the last thing we want to do is see one of the youth or one of these kids being taken advantage of by somebody who needs them no way. So just continue to believe in yourself. Do what you need to do. School first. Education always comes first. Because if you don't make it in the league or whatever, you still have something to fall back on and a career to pursue. So that's something nobody can take from you. So I appreciate it, Will. Hurry up and get back. Like you say, hey, we'll have you on the next show, my guy, and look forward to chopping it up with everybody again.
Appreciate that. I'll tap into the same vein. Also, parents, those are that, hey, support the coaches, man, especially at the high school level. Support the coaching and the coaching staff. Them guys don't make a lot of money, man. Support them and be there for them. And make sure that, you're there supporting them because they got your kid. So make sure you support them, especially if you know the coach is doing everything and anything within their power to get the best out of your child. And he's got your child's best interests. Support them. Support them. And that's what we're going to do on this show. We're going to bring on individuals on this show to make sure, coaches and personnel, what these guys do on the day end, because there's a lot of great coaches on the high school level and the Pee Wee level that are making differences, man. And that's what we want to highlight on this show, those guys as well. We highlight the kids, but also the coaches, man. Shout out to the coaches. I remember my high school coach. I remember my Pee Wee coach. I remember some of the things they said to me that, I'm an older guy now. I won't say old man, but I'm an older guy. And I remember some of those principles to this day. And as my father always says to me, he says, keep talking. They'll get it. And he says to me, you got it, right? I said, yeah. So listen, we're going to get out of here. Brother Will, we miss you, man. We'll catch you on the next one. The next time. Hey, man, this is the S.I.M.P podcast, man. Simply I Make Plays, man. Hey, join us. We're going to go live one of these episodes. This is just episode 2. But we're doing well. We went for an hour and 45 minutes, man. We probably could have went for 3. But this is crazy. This is how much we love this thing, the sports, especially when it comes to youth sports for high school, college. Love it. We love it. We'll catch you on the next time. Y'all be good, be great. Hey, y'all take it easy. S.I.M.P podcast. Peace.